what I'll do, what's your batch name? Batch 22. Okay, so I'm creating the repository as a batch 22. So what is the repository? What do you say, like, what do you understand by the repository when I'm saying the repository? Any idea? Huh? It is kind of data.
Sure, data.
It is a path. Okay, so for example, if I go into my file manager and everything, so we will give us some file path, right? So we'll name it folders and everything. So that is a kind of folders. Here also, if we are creating the repository, means it is a kind of folder where we can store our like source code itself. Okay, so repository is a kind of path also, you can say, or a folder. Okay, so that is what the repository. Okay, so next one, if you want to give the description about that one, you can give the description. Okay, next one. So there are two types of repository we can create it. One is public, another one is a private. So what is public? Anyone can access it, but they cannot commit it. Means whatever the our repository is there, batch 22. If I give you batch 22, that repository name, so you can also see that whatever things are present inside that file. But they can't commit it in my repository, means they can't change it. Okay, so that is what the public. So private means, so nobody can see it. So until and unless if I give the what access to that person. Okay, so they can't even modify also, and they can't see my repository. That is what the private. Okay, got it? So as of now, we'll go with the public now. Okay. So if you want to add the README file, you can add the README file.
We can only see.
Yes.
Can't modify.
I can modify. As I am the owner of this repository, means I can modify. You guys can see that repository, but you can't modify that. Okay. Getting? So whatever the files inside that one. So add README file. If I add the README file, for example, what do you understand by the README file? Huh? It is not only read. Okay, so for example, you might have seen any kind of repositories. Have you seen? Yes or no? No. So the README file which helps us to add the description about our project. Okay, so when you are adding this repository to the pipeline, okay, for the deployment purpose, at that time the README file will not execute. It's a kind of ignored file, but you can add the description about your file. For example, I have done this code. So what is that code will explain about, right? So you can add in the README file, or you can say the project description. What is the project all about? You can add it in the README file. This README file will not be executed in the the deployment process. Okay, getting? So next one, you can see that. So once I added, so if you see, I didn't add the README file, means it was not showing any main as a branch. So once I add the README file, you can see that it is showing that as this will set the main as a default branch. Okay, getting? Any confusion? No? Sharath and others?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So let's create a one repository. So if I create a one repository, it will create a one URL. Okay. So this is my URL. I can give it to you, and you can also see my repository. Okay. And so here also I can get it that same URL here. Okay. There are SSH and GitHub CLI is also there. So we can use a GitHub CLI also, or we can use the SSH. Okay. And now we are using the HTTPS. Okay. So as of now, we will go with the HTTPS. So I'll just copy this HTTPS. Okay. Or afterwards, we'll also copy. So this is the structure of the your repository. you can see that readme file is also added here. Yes. And also you can see that there is a one commit. So when you create a one file, this is one file I have added means it will create a one initial commit. Okay. So this is what the commit all about. You can go there history and you can click on that particular commit and you can see what all the things is added over there. You can see that. So before the readme file, okay, so there was nothing added. After that in commit, so it was added this one. So what is the name of that? Bash 22, because the repository name by default it will take in the what? The readme file. So which is the initial commit on which it is doing? The readme file. That is the commit over here. So we'll understand each and everything in which file the commit has done. Okay, which lines are added, which lines are deleted, everything you'll understand by here by seeing this one. Okay, so if it is not coming like that, otherwise it will be coming some parallel like downside. So it is splitted now. You can go with the one by one also. Okay, getting? So I can view file also from there itself. Okay, and there is a view here also the commit ID will be there. And here you can see the initial commit. That is a first commit. Okay, so and who has committed? That is me as a user. The person who has committed, it will show here also. And what is the commit also, it will show. You can go to that particular commit and you can see. So and also you can just if you hand over on that particular commit, so you can see that +1 and -0. +1 means the one line is added. -0 means nothing is deleted. Okay, getting? So that is what the things it is showing here. Getting? So before understanding this GitHub and the Git, before understanding this one, we have to understand what is the GitHub and the what is the Git. Okay, so let me clarify that one. So Git is a what? You are using the Git bash, right? So this is a Git bash. Okay, this is a Git bash you'll be using. This is the Git. We call it as a Git. Okay, and GitHub. So this is a what? GitHub, right? So what is Git bash all about means? So it is like, it is a command line interface. That is CLI. Okay, it is a command line interface. And this is, yes, GUI, graphical user interface. And who has created this one? How did you know? Okay. Then GitHub?
Microsoft.
Yes, Microsoft. The Git bash is for to store the what? Source code? Yes. So Git bash is not used for to store your source code. So which is present in your local system. Okay. It is present in your local system. You cannot store the data. You are using the whatever from the whatever the like source code from your local system only. You are using the command line. Okay. To what? To push into the what? GitHub. We are using that one. So it is not actually what? A storage. The GitHub is a what? Storage. Or you can say a cloud platform. Getting? So this is the difference between the what? Git bash and the GitHub. Getting? This is the main thing. CLI and the GUI. So here it is not a storage. This is what? Storage, where we can store our source code. Okay. Hub means totally like cloud. Hub it is, right? So bash means is the command line interface. Okay. Any doubts? Now, let me open the git bash. Execute.
And we can access Git bash offline also.
Yes. So you don't require any kind of internet for to execute. For a GitHub, you need an internet because it is present in the server. Okay. So now, what is the command for to see the current directory? Correct. Okay. Now, if I want to move from one directory or another directory, CD. Okay. So I'll just go with the desktop. Okay. You can just see what all the things are there in that particular this path. Then you can add. Okay. Now, so what I have created? I have created a one repository over here, right? Yes, right. So now what I'm trying to do is like, so which is present inside the like GitHub. So it is in the server, or you can say in a cloud platform, right? So you can say this is called as a global repository also. Global repository. What I'm trying to do is here. So this is my GitHub. Okay. So there is a one repo is there. I want that to be in my local system. Okay, I want that to be in my local system. How to get it? Okay, how to get that one? The main question is how to. Okay, so there is an option called git clone. Okay, git clone, which helps us to take the repository, whatever the repository is there, it will make an exact copy into our local system, or you can say local working directory. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just clone that whatever the repository. So using the what? Git clone. Okay. I gone with a different what version, that is 8. Least one is not going.
But it is also having Windows 11. I'll do one thing. Tomorrow, today I have to go. I have to pick up my daughter. Tomorrow, maybe like after the class, when you're free, I'll just connect with my brother. So
Sure.
he knows better actually. That's fine. Because he told he worked SQL actually in this.
But the thing is like it's not working here. So either SQL developer is also fine.
Okay, I will check with him because he told that maybe some conflict, maybe he told. So tomorrow.
Yeah. You know else. Git clone. Okay. So git clone and the URL. So which one? I have to give that path, right? If I don't give that directly, if I'm using the git clone, will it work? No, right. Which one I want to copy, that URL I have to add it. So I'm just using the what? That URL here. So enter. So what is happening here? It is cloning. So now you can see that what is my repository name? That is bash 22, right? So it should be present now. ls bash 22. So it creates a what? Our folder. It creates a folder structure because we are using in the Microsoft means it will create in the structure of the what folder. Okay, and it will create as a directory over here. Getting my point? It's not visible from there. Now I need to go into that particular folder, that is batch 22, and enter. You can see that in the desktop it was not showing any mail, but in the it is showing that as a main. Why it might be? Why?
GitHub is stored to make.
It created as a main branch, right? So when I clone it also, it will create a one branch, means it will create a one local repository. Okay. So if I go inside that folder, or let it be, I'll just show it here itself, ls-a. If you see, there is a .git folder is also there. Yes. So this .git folder is called as a what? Local repository. If I don't have this local repository, that is .git folder, we can't push it from whatever the changes I have done, I can't push it to the GitHub. Okay. So that is local repository is required for to push into the what? Global repository. Got it, guys? Sleeping or what? Guys, Sheikh Mastan, Ayan, and Sharath.
Yeah, ma'am.
Sharath,
Yes, ma'am.
Ayan, I don't ask you. Okay. So next, you can see only two files are the README file and the, okay. Before doing this all things, we need to do the configuration. So what is this configuration? Okay, so configuration means, so I need to, if I want to push into the what GitHub means, so who has done this code modification, everything should be known, right? Yes. So in that already like 𝗙𝗂𝗃𝗃𝗃 was there. Now, for example, that person is having access to for, you have a access for that repository. Think that you have access for that repository. Now, you didn't do the configuration. If you push directly, will I get to know? No, right? So who has made changes? If I want to communicate with you, so how can I communicate? Yes, right? So that is the reason before pushing, we have to configure it. So how to configure means just using git config. Okay. Hyphen global. Okay. Global. So now you want to add the email means you can just use the email. So user dot email. Okay. And double quote whatever the email ID. Write down the commands. Book ಇಲ್ಲ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ. Write down the commands. Okay. So this is a configuration things. Okay. So I have done the configuration. Now, if I want to see that whether it is done or means it is set, the email ID got added or not. So we can just use the what? Git config --hyphen global user dot email. That's it. So you can see what is the email ID it's got added. Okay. Or before the configuration also, if you want to check it, which email ID is there, just use the what? This email. What? This is the command. Okay. If you want to add, then you have to add the whatever the mail you want to. And there is another thing also, you can add the email, instead of email, I can just use the what? Name. Okay. So in the company wise, if you are going into the company, so you have to add the whatever the email they have given or the they have provided. So Outlook, they will be given, right? Or username. So that you have to add it. Otherwise, they will configure it before only they will give it. Something like that is there. Okay. It is not there. It is there. Okay. So if they didn't configure, you have to configure. If they already configured, you don't need to configure it again. 90%, the IT support will be there, right? So the persons who will be already configured everything, the security purpose. So they already configured everything, they will give you. Okay. So you don't need to worry. But the thing is like if you don't know that you have to add it like this. Getting? Username, for example, I just use it as a 𝗙𝗂𝗏𝗃. Okay. This fan remote and okay. Now, so if I want to see the status of the files, okay, so which is present here. This is the only file I have. This is a folder. Okay, this is sometimes it will be hidden in your system. So if it is hidden, you can just see that. So where did I add it? Desktop, right? So this will be like this. If it is not visible for you, just go to the view and show and hidden items. Check mark that. Okay. So then it will be visible. Okay. Getting? Now, if I want to see the status of the files, okay, we have to use the what? Git status. Okay. So what it is showing? Nothing to commit. Okay. Now, what I'll do, I'll just add a one file. How to add the file? Touch command or vi command. Okay. Or vim command. And also nano command. More than you guys, I know. Touch file. Okay. Demo.py. Okay. I'm adding this one. Now, you can see this git status again. What I will show means git status. It will show untracked file. So why it is showing the untracked? That is now it is just now it is added, right? So that is the reason it is showing that untracked. Okay. Now what exactly I am trying to do is I have cloned. Okay. Now if I am modifying something in the local system, I need to push it, right? Yes. So if I want to push it. Okay. So clone it done. So this is my global. This is my local working directory. So what I have done the clone. After that, what I have done? Now I have added the one file. What file? Which file? Yes, very well there. Demo.py I have added. Once I have added, what it is showing? It is showing the untracked. Right? Now, there is a one .git folder is there? Yes or no?
Yes.
So what is this .git folder? Local repository. Okay, local repo. This is global repo. Okay, so now I want to push this demo.py into the global repository. There are directly I can't push it. Okay, so there are some steps we have to follow if you are using the CLI. Okay, so first step I have to use the git add. Okay, so first step is git add. Okay, what is the purpose of this git add? So it will move. This is called as staging area. This is called as a staging area. From local system to what? Or local working directory to what? The local repository. So this is the what? Staging area. Staging means path, or you can say a bridge. Okay. So that is a what? Is a staging area. So once if we add the git add, so it is ready. It is will be moved into the what? The staging area. So it will not be like, I can't show it in the practical manner, right? I'm showing in the how it will be working. Okay. So it will be moved into the what? Staging area. So you can see now I'll just use the git add. So this is present in the what? Local working directory. Local working directory. Okay, so this is present in your local working directory. Now I want to move into the what? First .git folder. Local repository I need to move. So first I need to move into the what? Staging area. Staging area means it's ready to commit. It is ready to commit. That is called as what? Staging area. Okay. So git add. What is the file name? Demo.py. Okay. Enter. So once I enter, and again you can see the status. You don't need to again check it again and again, but I'm showing it because you need to understand how it is working. You can see what is telling changes to be committed. Before it was showing untracked file. Right? So now it is showing changes to be committed. That means it is present in the what? Staging area. So you can say that it is showing that also, like you can go back to the what? Your local working directory from the staging area if you don't want. So that means you can use the restore. Now it is present in the what? Staging area. Getting? So now if I want to move from staging area to local repository. .git folder, local repository. Local working directory is different. Local working directory is different. Local repo is different. Okay. Now I am in the what? This area. This area. Okay. That is staging area. This demo.py is present in the staging area. That means it is ready to commit. That file is ready to commit. Okay. Git commit. Okay. Git commit -em message also I have to give because I need others has to understand, right? So what they have modified. Okay. For example, I'll just give it as the demo file is added. Demo.py file is added. Okay. Fine. Enter. Now again you can see that it creates a one commit ID. Okay. So it will be having everything will be having one IDs. So those are called as a commit IDs. Okay. So once you commit, it will create a one commit ID. Okay. On that basis only you will get to know it. So what is the changes? Okay. So Nidya barta ide malkombidu. Get the status. You can see from before to here what it is telling. Nothing to commit, but it is showing some kind of suggestion also. What is suggestion? Use the get push. Means now you are currently present in the what? One local repository. You are present in the local repository. Once I add the git commit, so it moved into the what? Local repository. Okay. So how can we find map? So let's see here and go here. .git and there is a logs or not logs. Here you can see commit edit message. Okay. Not bad. What commit message have given? Same it is there. That means it is moved into the what? Local repository. Before also you can check it. It was not present. This commit file won't be there. Okay. So after commit only it will come. Okay. Getting? So once it is committed, I need to push from the what? The .git folder to what? Global repository. So using what? Git push. Okay. Understanding? So what I'll do now, I'll just use the git push. So once I used it, so it will move into the what? Which Git repository, that is GitHub repository of batch 22. Okay, so you can see that this is a commit ID and which moved into the what? The main. Okay, for you, it might be showing master. If you use it, I'll tell you how to change it now. Okay. So now you can see that here it is not showing red. Now you refresh it and check it. Add it and you can commit, check the commit also here. History is there. And check it, what all the things is added. Okay, now it is empty file, nothing to add it here. Okay, so and on which file? That is demo file. Here it will show to the side of that. Got my point? Any doubts here? How to clone, how to add, how to push. For example, now I'll modify the pi demo.py. So a equals to 10. Escape WQ. Okay, so nothing. Vi command you know, right? So I don't need to explain that one. So if you see git status now, it will be shown that it is modified. Or it was showing the untracked. Now it is showing the modified. Why? Untracked means the new file is created. At the time it will show the untracked. So when the file is created and if we add anything inside that one, it will show that it is modified. Got it? Getting? So existing only I am modifying it, right? Obviously it will show modified. So when it is new file, then it will show the what? Untracked. Now, this modification is done where? The demo.py. But where? Local repository or local working directory? Local working directory. So it has done in the local working directory. So what I'll do? So I'll just try to use the git commit directly. Can we use git commit directly? Okay. So what it's telling? So I have added, right? So but it is showing that again the status of that. So that means again it's showing that suggestion also. Use the git add to move into the what? A staging area. So we can commit it after that. Okay, so you should not directly push into the directly to the global repository. We need to follow these three steps: git add, git commit, and git push. So whenever you make a modification, so see the status. So then you have to add it and commit it and push it. Okay, git add demo.py.
Every time we modify and then again we have to follow this step.
Yes.
Everything small.
Yes. Because you are working on the local working directory, right? Not in the local repository. So that is the reason we have to do these things. So local working directory, why they will do means because if something happens, if it is pushed, then gone. Production, right? So it will be connected. Okay, so that is the reason.
Can we undo the changes which we doing before?
Can we undo the
Changes which we doing before?
GitHub? We can delete it or we can restore it. Okay. So git push. So now you can go and see. So this is the commit, right? Committed I have given and you can see what all the added. Okay. So also you don't need to go and again check it. So it is already there. So who has done? 𝗁𝗂𝗏𝗃𝗃 because I have given the username as a 𝗁𝗂𝗏𝗃𝗃. So that is what here it is. Okay. Any doubts? How to push? How to clone? Pakka. Now, if you want to change the from main to master, sorry, from master to main. Okay. So I have to go with git config again. Okay. Git config hyphen, not hyphen. Let me see the list. Yeah. So this is my default branch now. So before doing it into that, okay, before going to clone itself, so do the configuration parts first. That is git config your username and this one. Okay, I'll tell you how to do that. I copied it and click. So again, git config. Okay, hyphen global and init. So whatever I have copied, that one only I'm just adding. Init default branch equals to, sorry, branch main. Okay, mentioned like this. Getting? So for you, it will show the master. Okay, so before that on itself, just make it as a what? Main. Got it? So any doubts here? Sure. So straight. Where is your practice these things? So practice this, guys. So if any doubts is there, let me know. Should I stop?